On November 22nd, a rescue party, led by Dr. Messine Indicia, into the Dulth Aerial Cave, a photography discovered a damaged tape recorder tied into a piece of white guideline. And none of our four assertions were the missing parties in question found, nor any of their supplies save for the length of the guideline and the tape recorder attached to it. It serves as the only record of the events which the parties in question experienced. 17 entries of the sideline length recorded, as well as several shorter entries that appear to have been recorded by mistake, as no speech is audible for their duration. What follows is a transcript of the audio which appears in those 17 entries.
This is Dr. Mason Perry. September 12th, 1996. Aircraft over the Pacific Ocean. 4:41 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Duluth aerial caves of the small Micronesian state of the Photofi. There is a breed of lizards, one with the most remarkable defense mechanism known to amongst reptiles. It has developed the ability to hurl rocks from the cave floors where it dwells, with a lethal velocity at targets dozens of feet overhead. Nobody is quite sure why it had developed this ability. As for few specimens currently available, were found wandering around the outside of their natural cavernous habitats. My colleagues and I are traveling to the Photofi to study the lizards in a natural environment on the first trip of its kind, to attempt to discover the purpose of which this unique behavior had been adapted. The reason no such expedition has been attempted, despite the knowledge of the lizard's extinction and the scientific community, some 60 years old, a virtuous local reporter of the dangers of the cave. The folklore of the indigenous Tananachian people, native of the area of 1,000 of years, tell the potency of the earth demon Bundulith dwells within the caves, guarding the entrance of the subterranean kingdom. These demon children, as they say, to slay who attempted passage through their caves, which were sealed off until roughly 1,000 years old, when the heavy rocks which cover the mouths of the caves were removed to construct ancient buildings by foolish men. Folklore is simply folklore. Of course, the Tachian are not an isolated tribe. They are perfectly modern people and seldom take the old myth as legend as their culture and a literal fact. However, on the two separate occasions within this last 17 years, young men have set out to the caves to prove their bravery and returned in a terrified tale of having to see this creature exactly like those described in the old legends. They told of a large four-legged animal with pale, trisunculent skin characteristics of cave animalism. These creatures had severely arched backs, from which of four corners of which protruded spindly limbs bisected by single outward-facing joints, at the bottom tips of which were flat feet. They lumber about like awkward spiders with their backs, which were thought to conceal wings, though they were never seen to fly. Jutting out from between their two front legs was a round head with a single enormous red eye, which blinked rapidly. Both young men have seen them only at a great distance, and from safely high above described them as living in the group of perhaps 30 or 40, consistently murmuring in a low buzz. When this group spotted the young intruders, they suddenly let out with a high-pitched shriek, which in both cases frightened off their visitors. The later young man claims that he initially immobilized utter terror and was able to summon the strength to run only after they darted toward him with terrifying speed. Because of these sightings, belief in the children of the Bandulith has persisted among the Tachians, and they refuse to go inside the caves. My colleagues and I suspected that there were young men that believed that the experience was heavily colored by the local legends. However, we appreciate that some sort of large creature may live within the caves of all the same, and such have taken certain safety precautions. We have brought binoculars with night vision capabilities so that we can make our observation at a safety distance from any cave life and without the need of artificial light sources which might alert to our presence. To the later end, I am almost taking research notes verbally with this recorder to avoid the need for light by which to write. Should our headlamps needed to be turned off, because no guides for the caves exist. We have brought several thousand feet of highly durable cord with which to mark our path as we traverse the caves. Each of the four of us also has semiotic handguns and 15 rounds. Hopefully we won't have to use these as a last resort.